Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome, 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 welcome.
Yeah, everything's working okay.
We are live.
We are live, and thankfully, everything is working.
I'm,
Eggy,
I'm live on Facebook. Just Facebook this week.
just
How about
Facebook, mate.
yourself?
I'm on the YouTubes and on
The
Twitch.
YouTubes?
I need to figure out what's going on with Facebook. I'll have a chat to you off stream afterwards, mate, because you've
Yep,
managed to get yours going. I don't know why I can't get mine. It was working, now it's not.
yep.
So, let's do that. So, how's your week been?
It's been good. Got the jab today. Arm's a little sore, so
As
went
long as in the
in.
middle of the show you don't do the.
No, I don't do that when I'm drunk.
Oh,
I remember one caller boozy like Taz was like, "Where did Will go?" And I must have leant back in my chair just out of the thing, and I started snoring. He's like, "Will, wake up! Stop the stream!"
oh, I gotta love it. I gotta love it.
Yeah.
Now, I need to get this out of my system because I am a man child. I do need to get this out of my system though. Where was? Oh no, it wasn't it. Yeah, there. Enable. Yes. No, don't want to create. Damn it. Oh, that's the one. Now I don't know if this is going to work and whether you're going to hear it or maybe only the stream will hear it. But let's see what happens. Nope, the stream can hear it. I don't think you can though.
I didn't hear it. No,
If you put the stream on, mate, you'll hear it. It's the damn air horn. You know.
we might get a bit of an echo if we.
Yeah. Where is it?
This is the R&B
Yep, it's.
air.
I will throughout the show be using these because I'm a man child.
So it's what do you got these running on?
It's actually, interestingly enough, I didn't know, but obviously Logitech's bought out Blue Yeti.
Yep.
And it's actually on the G Hub software.
Oh.
I have a ton of these. I actually have a ton of these. I've just got to find them, but I think it's on one of the PCs. I've just got to find it where it is. But I actually put together a whole soundboard, and one of them was air horn and things like surprise, motherfucker, stuff like that. So I oh yeah, oh there we are. Yes. There's even even a bit of that.
I hear that.
A bit of a robot. I can even sound like somebody else.
Welcome
to the show. Click on the links or else.
Anyway, enough of that. Enough of my tomfoolery. But mate, so you got the jab? You feeling all right?
Feeling fine. Yeah, the arm's getting a little sore at the moment, but yeah, what's it been? 4 hours?
Yeah, they do say you do get a bit of a sore arm, mate, but it's nothing too much. I was the same. I had a sore arm for maybe a day or something, and it affects different people different ways. Like my missus on the second one was really tired.
Yep.
Second one, and I was fine. She's like, I hate you. And she goes, why didn't you get tired? And I said, because I'm not a freak. Her response to that isn't, not worth repeating, but let's just say she wasn't very pleasant. But let's kick off the show because, ladies and gentlemen, we are running a little bit late today.
We are running a little bit late.
15 minutes. But one of the things I want to touch on today is I know we've banged on the show about, what can you play with, what games, is old hardware really any good to play on and all that. And I was very much, a little bit of the old, of the thinking that you should have, good hardware, latest hardware, so you can have the best user experience and all that. But what I will say is, let's say you're someone who's got a kid, can't get them console. And you're like, man, I don't want to be spending like $3,000 on a PC, especially with GPU prices at the moment being crazy as they are. We've talked about it, talked to death about it. That's not changing anytime soon. We've come come to that acceptance. But the other thing I think people don't realize is, hold on a second, Matt. Let me just move the microphone. There we go. That's a bit better. I think the other thing people don't realize is that also the case is for consoles. I know Gabe is angling for an Xbox X, and I said, dude, I hate to tell you, it ain't going to happen at Christmas. You know, if we get one eventually one day, maybe, I said it'll be well into the future, mate.
Yeah. I thought the Xbox stocks are pretty good at the moment, or they're not.
The S is, you can get an S, no problem. Like I've seen tons of them. But an X, nah, really tough to get hold of.
You don't want an S? What's the big main difference?
I don't know. But I usually don't like buying the lower end consoles because you end up regretting it and going, should have bought the higher end. I should have done this.
Because the resale on is probably a bit better and it's more.
Look, I know when I saw my Pro, I got a lot more for my Pro than I would have like for just a generic, just the previous model PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of experimenting, and I mentioned to you the other night, and I was running literally on 4 gigs of RAM because I still couldn't be bothered pulling that one stick that's the fly in the ointment of the 4 sticks that go in there. So once I grab those 4 sticks of RAM, it'll have 16 gig. So I imagine it'll run a lot better. It was a little bit, but I play games like Valorant, didn't have an issue, didn't skip a beat. CSGO was the same. Splitgate was a bit choppy at times, but I think that was more RAM related.
Yeah, and what are you running it on the GT 1030?
Yeah, on a GT 1030. I think it's a 4-core 4. Actually, I've got a photo of. Ooh, do I have it on this PC though? Actually, you know where I do have it is. I have it on the phone, and I will tell you what it was. It was an i5 37. It was started with a 3. I know that much. Gallery. Oh, here we go. Yes, here we go. I had that chip somewhere. Yep, there we go. It was an i5 2400.
Yep.
Okay, so it's nothing special. This chip, right? It's not overclockable, so it's not because it's not a K chip, so it hasn't got integrated graphics, right? Actually, I wonder if it is overclockable because it's only the F chips that aren't overclockable and no integrated graphics, isn't it? And because it's interesting in the BIOS settings, it did give me the option to do performance settings. So I don't know, it might be, but all I know is, what did I say? It was a i5 2400, didn't I?
Yep.
So out of interest, let us go and see 14 i5 2400. Right, here we go. Specifications. So we're talking about a 4-core 4-thread chip, right? So no hyper-threading, none of that stuff. And that's interesting. You can do up to 32 gigabyte of RAM. Okay. Not that I would do it. 16 is more than enough for that machine. But in saying that, like I said, I played those games, and Roblox, Minecraft, all of those will run on it. So this is a great machine if you can't get a console. It'll run at better than console frame rates. Because I actually got on the Switch on the weekend to play a game called Vigor, which is very looked very much like what I've seen of Escape from Tarkov.
Yep.
And it ran around those speeds. Look, don't get me wrong, it did not run like anywhere near what you chuck. I could tell the difference on Splitgate because obviously we've been playing that quite a bit. On the 3080 versus that. But the experience on Splitgate was by no means terrible. And one of the things I need to really look at was I actually running at 1080p or 1440p? Because if I was running at 1440p on Splitgate, damn, that's the little engine that could, my friend.
Yep.
And that's why I'm starting to really steer away from, I guess, this constant advice of, future proofing and all that. And if you can afford it, and I'm in the position I can, and I've been able to, yeah, I've got a computer that's easily good to play, most games for the next 5 years. Easy. Now, is it going to be able to play, you know, COD 2028? Probably not. But by that stage, I've got my value from the PC. Am I going to probably keep it that long? Probably not, because I know me. I'll want to upgrade, and that's why I need to make money from crypto. Speaking of which, that's a good little segue into what's our crypto update.
Well, crypto saw a bit of a dive the last few days from the weekend to now, but then just looking at it this afternoon, just starting to creep back up again.
It's becoming a bit of a trend that it tends to, by the end of the week, have a bit of a drop off, but then tends to recover a lot of its losses by the start of the week again.
Well, the way it was looking, I'm thinking, I did say September 14th to 15th, it was going to crash. It's going to crash 80%. I was like, it's going to do it.
Watch this day, people. Here it comes, the eggy crash.
Well, and then I looked and I was like, everything's in the green. That's not a good sign.
Hashtag crypto busto. But in saying that, yeah, look, it seems like miners, though, are still very bullish on buying cards.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at the market lately, because I think until Ethereum 2.0 actually rolls out and starts, they're still able to mine.
So at the moment, it's only a partial rollover, isn't it?
Yeah. They just tried the EIP 1559 where they start deleting the coins. It's not called deleting.
Burning the coins.
Yeah, burning the coins. Yeah. I was trying to think of the name of
it. See, I'm listening. You think I don't care, but I listen. I listen, Iggy.
Yeah, they're supposed to start burning the coins, sort of making it deflationary, but it hasn't really helped on the fees yet. So, and then the NFT market's going crazy at the moment, so that's not helping with fees, because they can just choose what they want to pay for their gas fees, and then it just front runs the transaction.
Yep. So when Ethereum 2.0 happens, and interestingly, I would like to sort of go a little bit deeper into this, because I find it a fascinating topic, and I think anyone who might or might not be watching or discovers the video on YouTube might find it interesting too. With gas fees, what does that potentially mean for mining? Does that mean that profitability will stay there now NFTs have started to pop off, because there's still a real need to mine the crypto? Or once crypto 2.0 comes along, it'll really won't matter. The gas fees will drop off a cliff, because that it addresses having to pay the high fees to crypto miners.
Well, they still haven't declared what Ethereum 2.0 is going to be like in regards to gas fees, because Ethereum price keeps going up. So I think that's what caused the gas fee hike, because of the price that Ethereum was a year ago or 2 years ago compared to what it is now. But yeah, I think they're just making it a bit more scalability, so like they can change the gas fee prices. But because the gas fees, they'll still have gas fees, but it won't be proof of work. It won't be like mined. It'll be proof of stake. Like the coins will be staked.
So it's interesting, because I think one of our friends explained it very, very well. Our mate Benry, go check him out. He's got a great stream going, especially in regards to crypto. He explained it. It's like going to an ATM, putting your card in, and what the gas fees are is whoever's willing to pay the most gets their money first.
Yep.
So it's like going to an ATM machine. You punch in how much you want to take out, But then it says, well, how much are you paying for that transaction? Are you going to pay $2 or are you going to pay $2,000? Oh, you're paying $2. Oh, well, there's a queue of about 1,000 people in front of you that are happy to pay $1,000. Sorry, mate, you're going to have to wait.
Yep.
Effectively, which is really interesting. And I think once
Like the old saying goes, money talks.
exactly, but I think the real risk to crypto being adopted more widely is when people figure that part of it out. So saying, hold on, you're telling me, like right now, I can go to an ATM or I can go online and I can transfer my money across blink of an eye. I need to go and buy something online. I click a button and I buy it. Bank processes the payment. It doesn't cost me anything. You know, like most businesses now don't charge a transaction fee for anything unless it's, you know, like there are still small businesses that might say, oh, anything below $10, we charge you 50 cents.
Yep.
On top of what you're buying, which I get because they get hit with a lot of those fees. But but if I wanted to buy, for instance, said, oh, look, I need to go and fix my roof and I've got $10,000 worth, you know, I've got, I don't know, $100,000 worth of crypto and I need to take 10 grand out. And I say to the guy, yep, no worries. He says, yeah, no worries. I say, oh, look, it's an emergency. My roof's leaking. He says, yep, no worries. I'll be there next week. The issue with crypto is I can't say to them like, yeah, no worries, mate. Come over next week. I can come over tomorrow. Oh, yeah, no worries. Come over tomorrow and I'll pay you. And then I go to my crypto wallet and I go to pull the money out. But then all of a sudden, oh, I want that transaction done. Oh, no. Sorry, mate. You've got to wait 3 days. But why? Oh, unless you want to pay $500 to pull that money out. So all of a sudden, my 10,000 becomes 9.5.
Yep.
And I think that's something crypto has to be mindful of. That if they don't fix that, the chances of it being adopted as a broader currency are almost non-existent, in my opinion. Because
Yep.
what will happen is people will, once they cotton onto that, go, no, I'm not doing that. Like, why am I going to go to crypto? Oh, but it can increase, but it can also decrease in value. And that's the other thing. I think that's the problem with crypto is what scares people is I go and get my 10 grand and I put it in the bank. Bank doesn't take money from me.
Yep. Well, you can buy stable coins, which are pegged by the US dollar, so it'll always be worth $1 for each token.
Yeah, but then you're talking about again speed of transaction.
Yep.
And what am I getting that benefits me? That's the bit I kind of like. Why would I get a stable coin versus in inverted commas real money, legal tender that I can go use anywhere I want, wherever I want? I don't have to rely on someone going, yeah, we accept Bitcoin. Oh, yes, we accept that stable coin as payment. Not a problem. Please, sir.
Well, slowly it's starting to roll out. PayPal's coming on board, MasterCard, Visa,
They
Tesla,
are. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying they're not.
Amazon.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not. Absolutely, I think there's opportunity there, but I think what people haven't figured it out yet. But once it starts getting adopted in higher numbers, people aren't going to cop that on the chin. They're not going to cop the high gas fees. They're just not.
Well, that's why all the games are sort of moving onto the Polygon network, which is Matic, which is where instead of costing like $50 to $1,000 for a transaction, it's costing like 0.2 of a cent to 2 cents or something. So they've scaled it down to make it a bit less.
So how have they achieved that? But what's the speed like on it? That's the thing.
I think it's fast. It's faster than Ethereum because it can do more transactions at once than Ethereum is. But I think that's what Ethereum is trying to do with 2.0 is get faster to be able to do more transactions at once. And
But it's still not as fast as a bank.
no.
Where the opportunity, I think this is where an opportunity lies for crypto, is if they can make it that I go online and I pay. So at the moment, right? Say I got my Visa credit card.
Yeah.
Go on Amazon, I buy my thing. On my credit card, so it authorizes the payment, but on my credit card, it will sit there in pending 3 days, 3 days, 3 business days before it actually go over to the business.
Yep.
Now, the way it works, obviously, is the business is told, yes, this fund's there, yes, you're going to get your money, but then we're going to take 3 days to process that transaction. If crypto is able to do it quicker, so let's say I want to go on Amazon and I say I buy something, and Amazon goes, I'll give you a discount if you use crypto because you know what? I can get the crypto payment in 24 hours.
Yep. Well,
Not 3
it
days.
is it's supposed to be like 36 minutes or something at the most, because what it does
Wow.
it does the transaction, but it verifies it does
Mm.
it gets like 100 different computers to verify that transaction at once.
And this is the thing. This is where I think the banks right now are not ready for that tsunami of shit that is coming to them with crypto. Because
Yeah.
if crypto does get to that point, like what you're saying, crypto can process a payment to a business from a consumer or business to business within 36 minutes versus banks who traditionally say to you 2 to 3 business days. Why am I using your bank?
Yeah. Well, that's what they're trying to get rid of the bank, because if the bank goes bankrupt, where does your money go? Whereas in crypto, you hold it in your own wallet, so you always have it.
And the other thing I think with what makes crypto attractive, not only that, you're right, we can't go back. Look, crypto still's got its own issues about hacking and
Yep.
people
Yep.
getting wallets stolen and all that. So let's not kid ourselves that, it's perfect. But if they can resolve some of those security issues with hacking and all that, I think there's a massive, massive opportunity for them to overtake banks as the preferred method of payment.
Yeah.
And because what people don't realize, I think, is banks don't take 2 to 3 days to transfer your money.
You can
They
do pay
instant,
ID now. Yeah, they can do pay ID now. But what
but
they
it's
do
not.
for
But it's not
those
that.
3 days, they make money off your money.
There you go. And that's where banks have made their money traditionally. So if crypto breaks that, it'll be interesting to see how do banks compete. Because banks have been used to that, slowly we've seen banks' profits, increasing. But how are they doing it? They're constantly cutting jobs, cutting services, introducing more online services. Even you go into a branch now, that face-to-face contact, getting rid of passbooks and, like becoming more efficient.
Yep.
Yet, the customer experience, you talk to most people, at times, depending on the institution, is not can be not flash, especially when it comes to, I think where crypto, I think the death knell or for traditional banks as such is if crypto becomes, you can borrow crypto to buy stuff. I want to buy a car. Oh, it's cheaper for me. I'll go and borrow. I'll borrow some Bitcoin. And you look at it and you go, Bitcoin's been down for the last 3 months. I'll use Bitcoin to borrow my money. Next thing you know, Bitcoin goes on a bull run. All of a sudden, your $50,000 loan now is a $20,000 loan because like if that's how they worked it, but they wouldn't.
But
the danger would be they'd work the other way.
They do work the other way, and that you can do that now. You can get like crypto loans and that, where you put up your Bitcoin and they'll pay you 70% of it in like USD or maybe even some other crypto, and then you can go on and use that crypto to buy something. But
but
and
the problem, but if it goes, they're banking on it going up, and you're having to pay back more money than what you've borrowed. Yep. No different to interest.
Well, I think you just gotta pay back the USDC, which is the US dollar, which is always worth the same US dollar amount. and they just hold your Bitcoin until you pay it back. But then if Bitcoin goes down to a certain price, they'll sell it out. But then uh,
Oh, okay.
it'll sell out your loan too, so it'll pay off your loan.
Okay. So the way they'll make their money is more than banks.
Yep.
Interesting.
It's whereas they use your coins and give you a loan against that, so you can go buy something else, and then in 5 years, once you paid your loan off, you can come take your crypto out, and then hopefully it's skyrocketed from there.
So that amount is fixed. So regardless of whether the crypto goes that way or that way, that's it. Like they say to you, "Oh, I don't know. Here's my 10 bitcoins.
Yeah, and they say, well, we'll give you 70% of it,
70% of its value."
yep, and then say it drops 25%, so it's worth 75%, and they'll probably sell you out and still make a 5% profit on it, and yeah, they'll still
So
sell
when
you
you
out.
say they'll sell it out, that means that they physically sell that on a market and get 75% of their money and say,
Yep,
but you don't owe us anything.
yep,
So it's not you got the 75%, we're just going to write your loan off, but we're going to keep your Bitcoin in the
yep,
hope that it goes back up.
yep.
Is that what they're doing, or no, they're actually selling it?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked that far into it. I just
That'd be
presume that,
interesting.
yeah,
Because if you agreed that if crypto drops more than 25%, which is look, let's be honest, that's a significant drop.
yep,
Like you'd be pretty. Look, I think at the moment you'd be pretty unlucky to cop 25%. Um, and they say, but if it drops 25%, we're just going to keep your crypto, but we'll write your loan off. And then in 2 years, in 12 months' time, it goes back up 30, 40, 45%. Who wins?
yeah.
It's not you. You go, oh shit. But I guess that's the risk, isn't it?
That's the risk. If you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, you want to hold on to it.
Mm.
You get a loan against it and go buy something else with it.
Now, I did send you, speaking of Bitcoin, we've been talking about Bitcoin, we've been talking about how to get money out and all. Now, an interesting little product I happened to come across on Amazon, and I sent you the link for the Ledger Nano S, a cryptocurrency wallet, version 1.4, $81.75, and basically it looks like it's some sort of USB stick to securely hold your crypto, and it'll do Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, altcoins, and ERC tokens is what it mentions.
Yep.
What are your thoughts? I mean, have you seen this before?
Yes, I have. Yes, I think Ledger and Trezor are probably the biggest hardware wallets on the market. I think Trezor may have been hacked maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but because they got insurance and that, like all their funds are covered.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Trezor and Ledger. But yeah, they only hold certain coins. So like those like the Safe Moon and stuff like that. All those other sort of not so they're not so wanted coins. Well, they are wanted because they're low cap, but they're not as desirable as like Ethereum or Bitcoin and that. They don't hold a lot of those coins. So you still got to get your MetaMask or get your exchange and hold those coins.
So things like that don't do Ravencoin, Dogecoin.
Yeah, well, they might do Doge and that, but yeah, but that's just like say you wanted to buy 10 Bitcoin and save it for the next 10 years and then see how it is. That's probably the safest way to do it. Like it can't be hacked. It can't be because you physically hold the key
because
to
it's
it.
not. Yeah, it's not online.
Yeah,
Is
it's
what
not
you're saying.
online. Yep.
Wow.
But
Because there's been stories where people have lost. Was it the original Bitcoin owner? There's a whole bunch of coins that have never resurfaced.
yeah,
And
there is a lot of them. Yeah, and there's one in England where he had them on a hard drive and they took the hard drive, threw out the wrong computer or something, and took it to the tip. So he wanted to dig it up because there's like $2 billion worth of Bitcoin underground there. Just trying to get a petition for the council
Dig it up.
dig it up, and he'll go halves with them.
He's kidding himself. He's never going to find
Yeah.
that drive. And if he does, it's not going to be. So, okay. Oh, because it's not online. So it's not saved or backed up anywhere. It's
Nah.
physically on that drive. And you lose that drive. That is it.
Yep.
It's gone forever.
But I think on these you can log into Ledger or something with your 25-word seed phrase and be able to recover it.
Yeah, obviously now,
Yeah.
but I imagine 3-4 years ago that wasn't an option.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can get a petition as much as he wants. There is zero. First of all, there's zero chance that thing would still be in usable condition.
For $2 billion, you wouldn't see if you can get it going.
I'm not saying you wouldn't have a crack, but the
Yeah.
chances of you finding that particular computer, considering how much rubbish you're talking, like depends how long ago. If he's talking about, oh, I did it 3 years ago.
Well, I think he had the exact date and time, so they knew roughly in like a square kilometer radius of where it could be or something. So I don't know.
Okay, I mean, look, but the problem is if you don't find it, how are you paying for that half?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think he's petitioning on the assumption I'm going to find it, I'm going to recover the data, and I'm going to be able to get my wallet, and I'm going to have my $2 billion, and the council goes, happy days, here's your money for the cost of doing it. And realistically, if you had $2 billion, you'd probably say, you know what, you're so good about it, here's the whole freaking lot for the cost of whatever it was, $100,000 or even $1 million. You know, when you're talking $2 billion, you'd be like, whatever. Here you go.
You can take $1 billion. I don't need more than $1 billion.
Mate, $1 billion. Can you just imagine that sort of money? What that sort of money affords you? Like what you could buy with that sort of money? Like that's at the point where it's perpetual wealth. You know, like where you could just literally sit that in a bank.
Or in crypto. And live off the interest.
I don't know whether you'd want to put it all in crypto, but let's just say even a bank. Let's say you're like me, uber conservative, right? So $1 billion.
Would you put it in one bank, or would you spread it across 10 banks?
I think you would. You would spread it across you would look. Let's say you decided to keep the $2 billion. Okay, so but you want to put $1 billion away that you go, you know what? I just want that to be there forever.
Yep.
So 100. So 1 billion, 10 million, 100 million, 1 billion. Right. Okay. Times plus. Okay. Let's say you were super unlucky. Okay. And you got 3% return per annum on that money. Which if you had $1 billion easily, you could do that.
Yep.
You'd find there'll be a bank around the world that's secure enough. Probably you'd go Switzerland or even Australia. You'd get a bank in Australia that'll happily give you 3%. That's $30 million a year.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't spend 30 million a year.
That's what I've looked at it, like winning the lotto and that, and how much because if you won $1 million, you get paid 60 grand a year or something if you add 6%. But now it's like 1.5% or something. But then if you look into crypto, you can get about 8-9% on the US dollar.
Yeah, but it's the higher the risk, higher the reward. Like look. Plus, let's say, what did you say? 7 or 8%, yeah? Well, that's $80 million. You know, but the thing is,
so you
and I'm sure you could go to the Greek government and say, "Hey, I can lend you $1 billion. And they go, oh, we give you 25%, mate.
Oh.
You'll never see the money.
No.
They'll never give it back to you, not even the principal. But
then,
what?
see, you can, instead of risking $2 billion, you can only risk one and still get more than what risking the $2 billion in a bank would be worth.
Oh, well, that's the thing. If you had to, but that's what I'm saying. This is why when people go, oh, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. No, no. What happens is the rich get to a point where they have a perpetual, effectively, they have a license to print money because
Yeah.
they don't have to earn anymore. They just sit it in a bank or sit it in safe. Like you go and, like, even if you went and invested in, stocks and shares and you only bought blue chips,
Yeah.
reality is in 10 years, that averages out, you'll make 7 or 8% on that money using stocks and shares.
Yeah.
Probably not too different to crypto.
Yeah.
Right. So if you probably went and bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, for example, right, which is a crazy amount of money, like, it's a crazy amount of Bitcoin. But what you would find in 10 years, the risk is obviously Bitcoin goes bust and you're screwed and you lose your money. Chances of a bank doing that are probably less likely. Same if you've got a diversified managed fund of stocks and shares, chances of all the banks going, and I guess it's about diversity of your funds, like you said. So you wouldn't maybe buy $1 billion of Bitcoin. You might buy Bitcoin, you might buy Ethereum, you might buy what was the other one that was coming up and coming? That's now a couple of bucks.
Dano?
Cardano, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. You go and split it around those.
Yep.
And like, let's say, I don't know, out of that 1 billion, you go and buy, I don't know, $250 million worth of Cardano. If it goes the way of Bitcoin, as everyone's suspecting it will, there's not enough money in the world for you.
No.
Like, that's the whole world economy for you. There's like, all the money in the world for me. I mean, of course, there'd be a cap. I'm sure if you walked up to Cardano and said, hey, I want to buy $250 million worth of Cardano, I think they might go, nah, no, mate, we just don't have enough coins.
Yeah, I think you got to go to like the over the counter sort of sales and that, or you got to go peer to peer, and yeah,
you need to go out in the open market and buy everyone else's stuff up.
Yeah.
To be able to do something like that, and then the prices is going to wildly fluctuate. Some people might be happy to get out, but some institutional investors, for example, might just go, fuck off. No way, no. Like, we know where this is headed. There's a reason why we own $50 million worth of Cardano, because we know that it's going to be worth $1 billion in 5 years' time. Not going to happen. So you never, But like I say, it used to be, oh, what would I do if I won $1 million? And a lot of people used to say exactly that back in the 70s and 80s, and when I grew up. If you won $1 million, a lot of people say, well, you're set for life. But why? Because $1 million back then, house was 25 grand. A really good house like in South Yarra or somewhere, or like in Toorak, might cost you 100 grand. Right? And you got to think about what that's worth now. Worth, if it's big enough, it's worth 20-30 million dollars.
Yeah.
But $1 million, you would a top of the range car, like a top of the range Mercedes, might cost you 50 grand.
Yeah, they're like 850 grand.
Yeah, now you could literally, with $1 million, like people was like, oh, I could buy so many things with $1 million. These days, you couldn't buy even a house where you wanted. If you think about it, $1 million right now, if I wanted to go and buy on Frankston Foreshore and Gould Street, right on the beach, I'm dreaming. I'm not buying I'm not buying a house for $1 million. I wouldn't even buy a block of land for $1 million with nothing on it.
You could use that million to go buy, say, 3 houses in Tasmania or Adelaide that return you $300 to $400 a week.
That's what a smart person would do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're absolutely spot on. Someone who's got some sense with their money, if you won $1 million, that's exactly what you would do.
Yep. So then when you go to buy a house, you got $1,200 a week from that coming in, plus your
It's a week.
$500 from your wage as well. You could live a Frankston foreshore.
Well, not that. You could use that money. So you could take that money. Now, obviously, as okay, yes, you're going to earn that money, but the thing is, there's always going to be expenses for those houses. So
Yep.
let's
So
also
if you
keep in mind
you-
you're not going to that money's not purely going in your pocket. Plus, you got to pay tax on it.
yep, capital gains 15%.
Yep. So, but then there's tax breaks.
So
Any
it's probably
maintenance.
better to get a loan and say for the house, but then pay off
Yeah,
all but $5,000 of it, and I think you can, yeah,
it's a negative gear it.
yeah,
Now, I'm not a fan of negative gearing, to be quite honest, because I think if you can make money on something, make the damn money. Like, make the damn money. Don't just sit there going, "Oh, I'm going to negative gear it." It has to make financial sense to do that, and for 99% of us, it doesn't. But like you said, you got 3 houses. But the thing is, when you stop working, that's what people don't realize. Once we stop working and there's no money coming in, pension's not going to be enough.
no,
You talk to pensioners now, and they go, "Mate, I've got barely enough to keep the lights on," because the government has set, is really pushing towards. That's what super's all about. But the problem is, there's some old school Europeans or people from other countries where they have very strong pension programs. And Europeans, I say that because it's a very European thing. I get my pension. Doesn't matter how much assets or how much money I've got, I get my pension. No, pension was meant for people who didn't have anything. You have 20 years worth. Like for our generation, it's going to be your whole working life, you had a superannuation fund. You had an opportunity to put away enough money so when you retire, you could live out the rest of your life without needing the government to help you.
yeah,
So I always say, that's why I wanted to get involved with you guys and get involved in the NFTs and all that, because I keep thinking I've got maybe 20 years now. I've probably got about 20 years worth of working life left in me. So I'm at the back end of my career. That's a scary thought. I just realized that because I'm 45. So I've got another 20 years is I'm 65. I'm officially, look, the government says you retire at 68. But you've got 20 years. I don't have 40 years like I used to. So now I have to start looking at, well, where can I sort of bump up my savings? How do I kind of have some money set aside so when I retire, I can go on my holidays. I can buy a nice new, I can buy a sports car and, go nuts. But I think sometimes people also overemphasize that. I think you should do a lot of that stuff when you can and you are earning money. So when you retire, you can just chill out. Yeah, if you want to go on a holiday once a year, you can afford it, but not. I think people have these wild fantasies. Oh, I'm going to retire and I'm going to do this and this and this. I've heard one too many sad stories where people retire and 6 months later, mate, go on skis. They waited all their lives, worked all their lives for this golden moment of retirement, and I'm going to do all these wonderful things, and then suddenly the universe has a very different plan for them.
yeah.
But moving on to crypto, Stingray Dog Collective, my friend. How are we?
Well, every Thursday night we do some racing, and I think this week we've got some breeding coming up. So I might do a couple of breeding, a couple of races, and we've got a lot of projects we've been dabbling into the last few weeks. I think we sort of micromanage it, where everyone's got their own two little assets, two little cryptos that they can bring to the table each Thursday for the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, drop by the stream on Facebook at High PCA, and you can come watch us and come join us.
Yeah,
Come join us in all the NFT racing fun as we dabble into Play to Earn. There's a new one coming. Oh, well, it's not a new one, but it's a new one that all the boys are playing now. Is God's Unchained.
Yeah.
It's a card game. Have you had a look at it or?
I haven't had a chance. I just saw it come up today, so I have not had a chance to look at it. So I'll try and get a look at it maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah. I downloaded it the other on Sunday, I think it was, and then just haven't had a chance to play it. Played a quick tutorial before the show tonight. And sort of got it, but I sort of rushed it because we got the show starting.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough.
But it's more like a card game. I don't know. I think the boys are sort of a bit like Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a bit after my time. I think I was
Okay.
around for the Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z sort of saga. Don't know if you were. Were you?
No, I never
I,
got
I,
into the whole.
Because I
See,
remember I
I'm
used to watch it, because I used to watch it when I was 13, 14. Just I would watch it and then quickly ride my bike to school.
yeah,
See, whereas then you'd be 24, 20. Yeah.
yeah. So me, because I'm old as fuck. Um, uh, see, I remember the big thing when I was a kid was probably the biggest thing was footy cards, but I remember in those days the big thing was Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah.
and that was a big scene. Um, and then just sort of once I got a bit older, then like I think Taz and like the younger like nieces and nephews were all Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
um, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and all that stuff. I saw that coming out, but look, I didn't. Also, I think some of that might have just been starting as I was coming out of high school, maybe as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, like for me, but that stage I was probably a bit old for that. I still loved my comics and stuff, but I was probably a bit too. I was a bit too old for it. But the other
Yeah.
problem is at that stage, I was like I wasn't working or living with mum and dad. Mum and dad, like that, they indulged me as a kid to an extent, but we were never multimillionaires. They weren't.
Yeah.
It's not like they could go, sure, every week, like we do with our kids. Oh yeah, you want a $5 packet of cards? Yeah, all right. My parents would be like, hold on, that $5, where's that coming from? What am I not going to buy with that money? Like very much so. And so, meager beginnings, but I mean, I look at them now and I'm like, wow, you guys have done amazing considering, they're retired and they live fairly comfortable lives.
Yep.
Not to the point where they, where they're happy and contented with what they have, which is great. And if I can achieve that in my life, that'd be great. But yeah, but I'd like to look at the Vikings thing.
Yeah, it does look good, and they're all talking about it today. They're going to buy a few of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I'm holding out for the race.
Oh, okay.
I might have a bit of money coming in. I might talk to you a bit about it off stream. I was like, oh.
Mate, no, very interesting.
Mm.
Very interesting. All right. We'll move on to our next topic, which is PC parts flipping. This week's parts flips. There's not a lot to say. It's pretty tough
No.
market.
I've got heaps of parts lying around in the study and in between the study and the garage that I should get rid of, but I just haven't done it yet. It's there's nothing like, cause I don't have any hard drives, don't have any graphics cards, really. So it's like it's not really worth building a computer. But yeah, don't know if I should try and sell off some of the parts and that, just as individual parts.
Let's get together off stream afterwards,
Yep.
and I'll be interested to see what you've got, because I think with some of the stuff you've got, it'll be older stuff that I think, you know what? I reckon there's a market coming. I think it's going to be over the next couple of months. I reckon there'll be a lot of people looking for those 1030s and to game on them because they're not willing to pay $400 for a 5-year-old graphics card.
Yeah, an RX 570 4 gig or something.
Yeah, exactly. And it was interesting because I was talking to a guy at a dealer that I speak to quite often, very big gamer, and he has a 1080 Ti.
Yeah.
On a water block.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm like, and in the end, he said to me, yeah, today I only spoke to him today. He said, I did it. Like, what? He goes, I bought a 3080 Ti.
Did he go where you told him to go?
No, he didn't. He went to PC Case Gear.
Yep.
And it should have arrived either today or tomorrow, he was saying. And he was saying that I think he paid 2.7 for his card. But it was like, it was one of the cheaper brands. I said, look, it's not going to really matter. I said, because the memory is the memory.
Yeah.
It's usually with those things, it's the heat sink and the fans, the air cooled cards are the where the differences are. I said, but if it's a water cooled card, water cooled card, man. Like,
Yep.
the PCB's not going to be any different. The chip's not going to be any different. The memory's not going to be like all of that's dictated by Nvidia. I said, so do you need to go and buy a Gigabyte one? No. Because Gigabyte do a Water Force card, but do you need to get that? No. Why is it? How much different is it going to be? It's not. It's just going to be the water block. Maybe on the card might not be, might be slightly different or not as good. And if that's the case, take it off and get a new one.
Where was he about 6 months ago when there was all these 3080s for sale for because they accidentally bought water block ones instead of normal ones. I saw a few of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a few of them on there. They're like water block for sale because that in the rush because they kept going out of stock.
Mm-hmm.
And people bought them and not realizing they were the water block ones or.
Because the thing is, like, you buy one of those cards and you go, oh, I finally got one, and oh my god, it was at MSRP, it's not an MSRP, champ. There's $300 worth of water cooling parts you need, $400 worth of stuff, and like it adds up. Like, water cooling is really expensive, especially if you decide to hardline tube and all. If I accidentally bought a water cool card, I'd be in the same boat. I'd be like, oh shit, I need to get rid of this. Like, there's no way known I can, like, either that or I'd have to find someone like who would build a water cool system for me.
Yeah,
I just don't have the knowledge
and that has insurance too when it starts leaking. If it fucks anything, it gets covered.
Yeah, well, that's my biggest issue. The risk of leakage, the risk of screwing something up, versus just getting an all-in-one. To me, it's a no-brainer because the performance difference is 0.2 of nothing in the story. But I think that's his thing. That's his jam. He likes it. Good on him. So, but yeah, he goes, oh, just bit the bullet. He goes, because they're not getting cheaper, are they? And I'm like,
no.
Yep.
Unless you get a new egg, you might be able to pick up two for 3,200.
No. We did. We actually specifically looked there. But by the time you pay the GST, so it was 2.7. But then by the time you pay GST, it was 3.1.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah. So anyway, it sucked. He was disappointed. But the thing is, so I said to him, well, you got your 1080 Ti. I know it's on water, but have you got the air cooler? He goes, oh, I've got all the air cooler and stuff. He goes, because I bought it. He goes, I've got the original box, everything. So we'll put it together, mate, and chuck it on eBay. I said,
you get
1080 Ti. What do you reckon you'll get?
$900 for it or something?
Yeah. So I said to him, I go, you'll get somewhere between $700 to $900, depending on what card it is. You know what his response was? No, I'm going to chuck it in my HTC PC because then I can play VR on both, in my living room and in my bedroom with the new 3080. I just cracked up laughing and I'm like, dude, you know what? All power to you. If that money doesn't mean that much, and he's saying like his next step as well is he said, he realizes his system will probably bottleneck that 3080 Ti. So 5900X, and he reckons he'll go 5900X on an X570 board.
Nice.
And he said, but everything else he thinks he can probably reuse. And I'm like, I'm next time I speak, I'm going to say, mate, don't reuse shit. Just get a whole new system. Get a new case, get a new motherboard, get nice new RAM that it's going to work with Ryzen. Get a new power supply. Maybe bring over your hard drives if you want. But that's about all I'd recommend.
Speaking of new PC gear, have you got any deals for us?
I do. There was a couple, very sparse at the moment, but PC bargains. So the Razer Basilisk X Hyperspeed Wireless Mouse, $60.17 on Amazon. Some mixed reviews. So let's not kid ourselves here, right? This is not going to be the mouse you buy if you're a serious gamer that spends hours on end playing games. And no, this is a great mouse because it's got Bluetooth and wireless
Yep.
for $60. So if you need a wireless mouse to travel around in, and the other great thing is it's not a so. I don't know whether you can, so there's mine, right? So that's my Corsair one. Now that's the SE model, and I've got a pad here, a wireless charging pad. I can do it on that, or I've got a USB Type C charging port on it to charge it up. It's got a rechargeable battery in it.
Yep.
The great thing about the Basilisk is you chuck in a AAA battery and you're going to get about a year's worth of use out of that. No recharging, no nothing. You just chuck the battery, put the new one in. Like I said, I did read some stuff and I've seen some stuff saying, look, it's not the best mouse in the world for gaming and all that. You know what? It's good enough. Like if you need something, like if you're traveling for work or you want one for work and you want a cheap mouse, that's going to be fine because you're not going to use it harshly. Like, not going to be constantly clicking on it. No, I'm trying to shoot. Like, you're going to use it like a work mouse and it's fine. And it's Razer. It's a fairly well-known brand. It'll be fine. The next one that I want to bring up, and it's something I bought. I haven't got it yet. Hopefully by the end of the month. But the Go XLR Mini Mixer and USB interface for streamers, gamers, and podcasters. So basically, if you're doing what we do, at an amateur level, it's not the full-size Go LXLR, which is 500 plus bucks, but Amazon have got them at the moment for $249.13, which is about, I think I paid a little bit less than that. I think I paid about, I'll tell you in a minute. What did I pay for that? There it is. There's my Amazon. Where are we? Your orders. Let me have a look. See. No, I paid $246, so it's only $3 more. That's 2 tenths of nothing. So, and you take a look around what they're worth, and you're paying significantly, like 300 plus bucks if you look around for those. So I used it, like I said. I haven't got my. Now, I did see the other day the Blue Yeti X World of Warcraft edition for 100. It had gone from $299 back down to $189.
Yeah.
I just went and had a look before the show. No stock. It's gone back up to $269, which is the
regular retail price.
Yeah, well, no, but the standard microphone. It's not even the World of Warcraft edition. It's just the standard Blue Yeti mic, which is what the World of Warcraft one's based on. So not quite as exciting. So that's why I haven't put a link in there for it, because really it doesn't represent the deal at the moment. That's for sure. And finally, the last one I had was, now I put this up because we may or may not have had something that smelt like it was burning when the potato was being put together. Maybe because I was trying to use a header that maybe was not designed to run ARGB. Even though it was, the lights were on, the fans were working, but there was a burning smell. So the good thing was I've now plugged in. So I had some spare Lian Lee fans, which are not RGB, but then I plugged the 3 RGB fans into that hub. It's $25. Look, at the moment, that's the average price. That's the everyday price you're going to see it for. The good thing from Amazon is you don't have to pay for shipping for it if you've got Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So, and I think even if you haven't got Prime, I think it's still only $25. I think it's still free shipping. So this is why I say to people, go get Amazon Prime because you know what? It's little stuff like this. Give you a bit of the example. I went and bought a coffee machine the other day from Amazon. I
Yep.
think I sent you the link, and you know kindly sent it through to me, and I clicked your button, and hopefully you earned a gazillion dollars out of it because that damn machine wasn't cheap. Let me tell you. But we the last one we bought was 12 years ago, so you know what? I didn't mind it. And I love it. It makes nice coffee for me. But I have black coffee. My wife, not so much. She can't get the strength of it right. So I keep telling her she needs to put 2 pods in. Um. So yeah, and the thing is, even the Leon Lee power now ARGB. Be careful because it's got a plastic case around it. Okay.
Yep.
Let me see if I can show a photo of it on stream. Here we go. Oh, come. It's just not going to let me do it. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this. So I'll just cover our faces. So that's what it looks. So it's got that plastic cover on it. So where these slots go in, if the connector is too thick, I have a funny feeling like I know I've got some fans that I reckon there's no way known they'll fit in the RGB because they've got a plastic casing around them.
Yep.
So they won't slide in because they'll be just the casing around them will be too thick. But it seems like for PWM connectors, they're a standard connector across all fans. So if you've got a non-RGB and you just need a power hub to keep them going, to get them going, and you've got like in this PC, there's a mix of ARGB and ARGB and fans and just power going to it. So, bueno, my friend, they're great. And it looks great. Like, I mean, this motherboard doesn't have a RGB header, so I just used the little remote that comes with it and set it and tuck it inside the case. You want to change the colors? Well, you know where the controller is. You just go in there, you change the thing, and leave it alone. But most people won't change them. To be honest, to be fair, not like most people wouldn't even bother.
Yep.
So, but like I said, it just really surprised me. And like I said, I'm going to do some more testing. I've just got to figure out how I record MSI afterburner results because can't get them to come. So I might have to put on a game where I know I can get it to work, and then try and put it like in Valorant or Splitgate or something like that.
Yep.
And actually, see if I can, insert it like that way and go from there. But that's about it from me from a bargain perspective. Like I said, it's that time of the year. Really, there's not a lot for sale. A couple of months we'll have we'll have Black Friday and all that. Still a while. It's probably about 2 months away.
Yep.
Around that time, though, I reckon you might start finding older model because the new model of X570 boards have come out.
Yep.
I've got a funny feeling AMD start of next year is going to be looking to release their new and their next lot of AMD chips, which will be on the new board, be on the AM5 platform, which will be a whole new chipset. So AM4 will go and AM5 will come in as the chipset for it. I know also Intel's due to come out next year, early next year, with their, I think even later this year, with their 11th. No, they just did 11th gen. So I think, next year, they're probably first quarter, they'll bring out their new ones. So I reckon Prime Day might see some stuff. I think especially some 11th gen stuff.
Well, I think every 2 gens they change the chipset on the Intel, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and I think AMD will
What's
start
it?
following that suit. I don't. I
What's it
think
gonna?
we're not going to see another AM4
LG,
platform.
LGA 1299 is this next one?
Yeah, it'll be LG. No, it'll be LGA 1300
Yeah,
for the next one because it's 1200 now, so it'll be
yeah.
1300. Will be next one.
I thought I'd just mix it up a bit. 1299.
Better than 1300. But so I reckon there might be some cheap motherboard and CPU upgrades coming up. Especially, I reckon people really forget about B550 and B450 boards too.
Yeah,
And I reckon come Christmas time this year, I reckon there's going to be some really good bargains to be had on B450 and like 3600s,
30
3800s,
cent. Yeah,
3700Xs, like stock that's because there still seems to be a decent amount of stock of those chips around. And I've even started to see 5600, 5800 starting to get discounts,
yep,
5900. I don't think we're going to see huge discounts on those come Prime Day unless AMD is definitely gearing up to get the new chips out.
yep.
So then we might see that. But yeah. But, it's I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, brother, that is as Porky would say, but that's all, folks, from me.
That's all, folks.
But
So,
mate,
anyone watching on Facebook, make sure you're following the Flippin' Spuds. I'll just put them on there as well. And if you head over to their Facebook, I'm sure you'll find links to their YouTube. I'll give you a link right
don't
now
say
for the
that.
YouTube.
Maybe, hopefully.
There's a link to YouTube now. Anyway, you can go watch their stream live.
Yeah, absolutely.
All Tekt Out episode 31.
Yeah, exactly. Come and have a look. Come check us out. We don't
you might see the same thing you see here.
Exactly. What we're going to say now? Let me just have a look here, mate. I do want to end this stream, but I want to end it a particular. There we go. Nope.
Also, we might be doing a little giveaway soon to help boost our numbers. I think Battlefield 2042 is coming out next month, so I might be able to give away a copy of that. Because by the look of it, I got a Twitch payment coming out, so it'll be good to grow the both channels.
That'll be awesome, mate. That'll be awesome. If let me know. We'll sort that out off air for sure.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, brother. If that's it, I'm gonna go to my ending screen and then just start rocking out some music here, I think.
Me too. I'll do the same. Make sure I mute us so we're not listening to each other talking.
All right, brother. So, peace out, everyone. Thanks for coming to watch. Hope you enjoyed the show. And come join us again. Same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Peace.